Flame on! How's everybody doing tonight? Let me not waste any time and bring my guests. Nick Lenz, how's it going, buddy?
It's going good.
And let me get a quick intro for our second guest tonight.
Let me try.
Okay.
Wonderbot.
Hello.
Tevia, what's up, man?
What stream was that from, Jay Blaze?
That was just a clip.
New Direction, not New Direction. From the team that Adam Glass discussing.
Yeah,
I've seen that one several times. I was curious where that one came from.
Yep.
I forget the exact video, but that shout out to Pika Shades and Naji Tech Pro. They were a good sport during that correct. I think that one was almost like 4 hours, if I remember.
It was 4 hours long.
Very good
on my background, Jay Blaze.
Nice.
Nice.
Well, I really enjoy this background, so. I don't have a green screen, but this is the best I can do.
Nice. It really turned out great, man. It really turned out great.
Maybe a glitch here, but it's still good.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from. But before we move forward, Tevia, you're welcome to put on a virtual background if that'll make you feel more comfortable. Go on ahead.
No, I'm good.
Okay. But before we get started, this is your official spoiler warning. So if you are confused about the rebranding, if you're trying to wait out the hiatus for the anime, please leave so now or forever hold your peace.
Yep.
All right, I'll give you a few seconds. Okay. Now that everyone else has left, man, this chapter was wild. So I know.
Yeah, and it was also I think it was like 50 pages. This one.
50 pages. This was a very special chapter. So I'm gonna let Nick Lenz go ahead and give it like a basic overview, and then once we each get our collective thoughts about it, we'll then go into an overview about the franchise, the 20th anniversary OVAs or special 4 select episodes over the course of September, and maybe some anime predictions. So, would sound like a plan, boys?
Yep.
First thing we see is who's open the chapter. We see Sadara in her post time skip attire, and they do confirm this chapter. It's been 3 years since the events of the previous book. She's talking to Shikamaru, where he is basically acting Hokage, and because the fact that, well, she's basically requesting him to withdraw a kill order on Boruto because of what happened previously. He's like, no, they are going to bet. And of course, when she decides to leave and says that, well, my role model was Lord Seventh, not you. And of course, first thing to see, obviously, is some of the images you've seen is she's in her post time skip attire with the choker, the earrings featuring her Uchiha clan logo, where she's basically showing a lot more skin than usual. And plus basically coast part off her shoulder. And of course, we see all the rest of the characters in this whole post-time skip stuff, where some of them got slight alterations, but not total ones. The most noticeable are basically Cho-Cho and Himawari. Himawari, who's actually aged up for this time skip, show off some belly, midship stuff. She do some training, basically catch with everybody. And of course, basically, we also see Susumori, who changed her attire too. Or basically, in the court, they also have a conversation with Ava, who is the woman who caused all this. And after all this stuff, we see that, Code show up in the village because Code is looking for Boruto. And of course, where you have, he's fighting Sadara. And he's like, where's Boruto? I haven't, of course, Sadara's like, I haven't seen him in 3 years. And Code's like, I haven't seen him in 2 years. And then the chapter ends with Boruto showing up in his look that we saw in that first episode of the anime with, sliced up face, the sword, everything, the whole look, except for the colored eye. And that's how the chapter ended. It's more like a sneak preview where we get a chance to see for this whole post time so going forward.
Thank you, Nick. Thank you for the overview.
That it doesn't spoil everything per se, just bits and pieces here and there.
Definitely. And I'm not going to go into, even though I'm like a week behind on this, but I still want to give time for people to support the official release. So I'm not going to go into too much detail.
And they that
no, so honestly, my memory is very flawed.
Next chapter comes out in 25 days.
25 days. But,
yeah, I thought that was kind of weird because when the chapter came out last week, there was no release time because they had this thing where they said, "Oh, this next chapter release this number of days." They didn't have it for this chapter. For last week it came, and then a week later, it's there. 25 days. I thought
complete rebrand. Now the manga sales, at least in Japan, have been relatively tanking, and that's my biggest nitpick about Boruto. Not so much as it's a cash grab sequel. It rides too much on Naruto's coattails, pun intended. Mm-hmm. But there was just no real.
Here. It's different here for some reason.
It really is, not gonna lie, because
where like the manga sells really well over here in Japan, doesn't sell too well, and it's complete opposite when it comes to the anime, where no people like the anime here, but people love the anime in Japan.
It's a complete inverse. It's crazy.
It's weird.
But you gotta understand.
I've never heard of a series like this because any manga I've come across generally put a lot of them usually like both countries. Well, the only kind of thing similar to this is Zombie Powder, the first series that the creator Bleach did. And that series failed in Japan, but from what I heard, it sold really well in the US. And all the chapters been collected. And you look at it and it's like, you could think of it as basically a prototype for Bleach because there's several character period, the designs get reused for Bleach. Like, you read like, oh, we see Soifeng. But it's not her, it's the same character design.
A lot of repurposed design.
Bleach did return on Hulu.
Basically, they're adapting the final arc, the Thousand Blood War arc, which didn't get adapted for 7 years.
Why 7 years?
Yeah, the manga concluded in Japan in 2016. The anime didn't resume until I think this year because they
earlier this year.
And it was coming back. I think it was just a couple years ago. I guess 2 years is basically a good period of time to wait after the announcement.
Yep.
Roughly 2 years.
In cores. Because I heard this can release in cores for this whole thing. 52 episodes adapting what essentially put is like, I think it's like 100 and I think it's like 206 chapters. Right now they're past 500 with this most recent episode that they just released here. I think they're basically in Japan about 580 right now.
Mm-hmm. Nice. But I feel because you got to look at the timeline. Even with Kishimoto wanting to use the meta narrative of the original movie as an apology to his family, you have the movie itself in 2015, the anime being greenlit in 2016, around the same time Shippuden wrapped up, a butchered attempt at adapting the post-war light novels.
And games.
Well, Storm 4 was kind of its own thing. That didn't get wrapped up to like early 2017. But and then Boruto came out by April. It was too much too soon.
Yes,
the overkill.
One at a time, Nick, go ahead.
The Naruto manga wrapped up. They didn't adapt the last chapter. That was time skip. But the main story, they pretty much wrapped up with season 20. But my guess is, and this is my personal theory, Boruto was not ready yet. So they decided to add one more season. Well, first we had about, I think it's like 4 to 6 anime original content episodes that just had the main characters as younger characters. And now we have adaptation of 3 light novels, at least 2 released here. The third one was never released here. They first adapted the Sasuke one. Actually,
yep.
Yeah, Sasuke, then Shikamaru, and then Hidden Leaf one, which built up to the actual wedding itself. All books are canon. There was nothing in those books that contradict anything established in canon. These books take place during what essentially is referred to as the blank period. The blank period is the time skip between the end of 499 and what we see in Boruto. That's the 15-year time skip. Though for some reason in the Boruto anime, and this I think is really weird, they think that the war was actually 12 years ago instead of being 15.
Okay, it's 15 years from when we get to the movie. So
What
where
movie?
they
You mean the
where
last or Boruto?
Boruto, 15 years from when you get to Boruto, it's been 15 years.
Yes.
But they're kind of doing like Dragon Ball Super did, where they give you like a few years, like what's the new status quo,
Yeah,
what's
the
going
last
on.
is supposed to set 2 years after the war wrapped up.
Yeah, that's Naruto the last.
Huh?
Then
Yes.
you cut to the inauguration OVA where Naruto gets sucker punched in the central chakra point of his
Which they
abdomen. by
loosely adapted for Boruto. They adapted that for Boruto.
Yep, episode 18.
Which
Where he
I do remember that special. I watched that special at the I think when
Yeah, it was
I
the
did watch
episode where him and Warren got
it was a
into the hole.
really special.
For those who, even though the OVA special is like 5 years old at this point, basically
Yeah,
it was
it's not
Naruto's
old.
inauguration
Not
day. Boruto and Himawari were getting dressed to go for the ceremony. The woman who always makes the Hokage cloak, she's running late, doing a lot in her old age.
And they say she made all the Hokage's coats, which I'm thinking that's a bit odd.
Yeah, but because if she made every single one, she's at least 120 years old. I think maybe Heroes and onward she made them.
Yeah.
That would make sense.
And they also mentioned that Kakashi's was late, like really late.
Yeah, Kakashi's was very last minute because in his novel, he waited a whole year before taking official office.
Though here's kind of the strange thing about that book. The book has been loosely contradicted in the anime because the prison that they're at. Because the prison is the same prison from the movie Blood Prison. Same exact prison. Where after the movie, apparently the Leaf, the Sand, and there was one other village in charge of the prison, but
Sound Ninja?
No, Sound Ninja was not around at this point. They've been disbanded because Orochimaru basically turned them all into zombies.
Pretty much.
Of course he did. Wait a minute.
So basically, Kakashi.
Why?
Yeah,
Tevia, we'll get to that. Tevia. We'll get to that.
The Kakashi light novel is focused on Kakashi and Mike Guy, which is interesting. I thought that was really cool. The fact we have the two self-proclaimed rivals teaming up, and they had this big battle on a blimp in the movie, which technically it's an airship, but and they count this ice user who can freeze people via the chakra.
And fun fact, I actually did a what if that character actually survived and her and Kakashi get together. It was one of my oldest videos, I think about 5 years ago. I hate to cut you off, Nick. I really just wanted to bring this up. And hey, I called it What If Kakashi Kept the Sharingan? And if you feel like checking it out, by all means, you're gonna have to scroll a bit, but definitely check it out.
Yep.
And Nick left to check on something. Oh, thank you.
Nice.
Oh, you have a physical copy of it.
Yep. I have a physical copy of all Naruto books that were released here. That I know of anyways, because there's some still released in Japan that never released here. Like the one that was out, the last one that for the anime, the Hidden Leaf one, never released here. Trying to think. The Gara one, there's one for Gara.
That was Gara Shinden. I believe that was a political dispute because he was being arranged to someone.
And that surprisingly is canon. That book, because that's loosely mentioned in Boruto because of his adopted son.
Shinki.
Yes.
What did that have to do with his assassin bride in that novel?
Because basically the bride, because that woman went with another guy and he had marrying her sister.
So Shinki is so Gara is politically married.
Well, he was forced to, because basically the way this is kind of weird with this book. And the contract is in Boruto, where in the book they mentioned the Saiyan had no problem with the fact Shikamaru married Tamari. In Boruto, they hated the fact he married Tamari. I'm like, and this is pointed out by certain people, like, did the people made the anime not read the light novels?
I get this.
I would not be surprised if that was the case.
Yeah,
but
this one
basically to make it a long story short,
this was adapted for. The season. It was the second one they adapted, the Shikamaru one.
Okay.
This one was the first one they adapted. Sasuke.
Sasuke.
Which-
Oh
Shinden.
yeah, I remember the episode when.
Yes, but here's a little fun fact
when
about
daughter
the
tried to
guy who
find
wrote
him.
this book. He also wrote the one for Akashi and the Akatsuki, which basically is it was the last one of these three books, like these three in particular. But this came right afterwards. This came with another series that featured also the Itachi light novels, which those were loosely adapted for season 20. The one book I kind of wish, and Tiffany's friend Edgar would love to see this book adapted for the anime. This one, the Sakura light novel.
Nice.
No, wait, is it
Reason
Sakura
why?
Hiden or Sakura Shinden? Because some of them were called Shinden.
This one.
Sakura Hiden. Okay, thank you.
Yes. The reason why, because this is a few months after the last. Because
Yeah,
they
and
mentioned that Naruto and Hinata are a couple.
Yes, and I think
Nice.
Hinata is pregnant with Boruto during the events of that novel, if I remember.
No, they're just
Oh.
started dating. They just started dating.
Okay.
Bart doesn't come. Bart doesn't even mention the book at all. There's no mention of it not being pregnant. Apparently, Naruto trying to take her on a date.
Must have been a poor fan translation I read, but
Yeah. But there was a light novelization of the last. I've read part of the book, and you get a chance to hear some thoughts related to Shikamaru, where he didn't think Hinata should not go on the mission in the first place. He thought that she was too personally involved because her sister got kidnapped. But she was needed.
it was just the reality situation. Neji was dead, and Hiyashi was stranded in the desert somewhere.
Huh? Wait. When did Negi die? Did I miss
In the
any
war.
here?
Neji died in the war.
Yeah, he got killed by, I think it was Obito killed him.
Yeah, Obito used the Ten Tails to use wood-style constructs, and he was skewered through the abdomen.
Yeah, and this kind of drew both Naruto and Hinata together, but not at that point. That started it.
The last was kind of the payoff. At least that's what Kishimoto was going for. But the foundation was there as far back as the Pain arc.
Yeah, and he actually
I
he
need
wrote
to
that
rewatch.
story.
I need to watch Shippuden.
When it comes
to
the movies,
so behind.
that one along with the Road to Ninja, those two are the only ones of all the Naruto movies. Those two are the ones are considered canon. All the rest,
All the movies are non-canon. Everything like
The
the
last-
Time Tower movie.
The last Blood Prison, and I believe there was a third one which they repurposed for the time slip arc, but I forget which one.
well,
Well,
I've heard that.
There was a time travel movie that they're time travel. I'm not kidding. No, they did do time travel.
They did it once in the movies and they did once in Boruto. Boruto, I think they did a lot better job with that, how they dealt with that when they were in the movie, because if I were basically like, I was kind of against the fact they erased Boruto and Yamato's memories over erasing everyone's memories of them, just to keep a secret. That was my problem with the movie. Blood Prison.
Yeah,
was
the
a
movie
problem
turned
with the
out
movie, like-
confusing. I felt confused. But
Yeah,
wait,
Blood Prison
what?
is semi-canon, but not fully, because they mentioned, oh, we're trying to prevent a fourth Third Ninja War, and we have Naruto attacking the Razakage. It's
Basically,
weird.
Why?
It was an infiltration job because something shady was going on with the Blood Prison. It was a part of a ritual to help bring back the dead, kind of a setup for the reanimation.
Yeah,
So they
and
kind-
it was one of the most weirdest movies I've ever seen. Like, also, they had it where this weird scene in the movie where Naruto had this ship completely naked, including taking out his own boxers. Well, at least they didn't show up, but they had to do that too. I'm like, why?
Because they
I
thought
get it.
Naruto was an idiot and would compromise the mission if he knew too much.
Yeah. Like, and here's the thing. Like, by the time this movie came out, I think the Full Ninja War was already going on at this point.
But
And-
No.
hold on,
Yeah.
syndication wise, yeah, this was around the same time as the Ninja War, if I remember correctly.
But here's the thing. The war was never mentioned because by the time the war started, Naruto was off in training. To get his...
Wait, the movie can or not? Because I'm confused.
They repurposed it. They canonized the Blood Prison itself, but the movie is semi-canon, meaning the concept of the Blood Prison exists, but Naruto was never sent there on a mission via the events of the film.
yes.
So similar
and,
to Dragon Ball Z with the God Junior saga.
in the case
That
of,
saga I know is movie
of this
based.
book, Naruto's in here very briefly for like the opening part of the book and the end of the book. When they adapted this for the anime, if you remember the adaptation of the thing, Jay Blaze, Naruto appears for one episode. Here he appears for another chapter. He appears like 2 or 3 chapters. Like
Yeah.
there's a joke in the thing where Naruto's talking to Sakura. She feels a little annoyed that he's around. He's like, "Go talk to Hinata." And also the fact that this that was so funny because at the end of that book, just like in the anime, Shikamaru asked Tamari on a date, and Ino kind of in a way coerced Sai to ask her out too.
Yeah, but Sai had been making little corny, jackassed remarks, trying to be more social. So he kind of put himself in that situation. As far back
Here's
as
the
really
thing: when he first met her in the anime, he called Sakura ugly, but he called Ino beautiful.
I think he just did that out of spite for punching him in the face.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think somehow that is started Ino's romance with him.
Yeah, Sai was basically Sasuke's replacement in the new Konoha 11 dynamic from the time skip. Sai was barely given anything to do.
And post time skip, he's not given much anything to do either. I think he's in charge of the Anbu Black Ops.
He's a part of it. He's a part of the Anbu Black Ops.
He doesn't do much. Like he does take part in bits of story arcs, but he's not a major role. His son does a lot more than he does, but good reason because it's not his generation. Though there was one episode it was the episode that came just before the start of the car arc, where he had, get this. I thought this was so cool, but I put this on the Naruto Wiki site and they erased it because they thought was used as trivia. It was the first time we had a mission. We had Sasuke and Sai team up for a mission, and they go to Hidden Rain Village.
They do.
The Hidden Rain Village, and apparently the place is like in ruins.
After Obito killed Conan, there was a huge power vacuum. I don't think any of the novels mentioned it, but basically the Hidden Rain Village pretty much collapsed, and this new organization by Kara pretty much took over.
And here's the strange thing, though. Like, the one thing that viewers can easily tell this, but apparently no one else can tell this, Danzo was indirectly responsible for the creation of the current Akatsuki. He was indirectly responsible for creating it.
Yeah.
Oh, those guys. Now I remember them.
Danzo teamed up with
for chocolate butter.
I hate to cut you off, Tevia, but Danzo teamed up with Hanzo the Salamander to put because they thought the Akatsuki was a rebellion. And then Yahiko was killed. Nagato awakened the Renegon powers, and that led to a chain of events to allow him to be.
It's shown in a flashback that he recognized a little bit earlier than that. First time he awakened it was when Jiraiya was training him.
Oh, I thought that's when he awakened the Ghetto statue the first time. Okay, my mistake.
No, yeah, the other time was the Ghetto statue. The first time was when he awakened the Renegon, which he was shocked the fact he had a Renegon. And he thought this is a good chosen one, but he was wrong. It was not Naruto, was the child of prophecy that they were talking about.
Oops. Yeah, they fucked up. And well.
Yeah, and if you look at by the fourth lineage were started, almost all the Akatsuki were all dead, except for
Chocolate butter. Thank you to wife.
Sasuke's brother. Well, he got killed just before the start of the war. Him, his partner from the Hidden Mist,
Kisame,
the
Obito, Black Zetsu,
and Black the one who's the black version of the white soldiers they used in the war.
Black Zetsu,
yes,
Kabuto
technically allied with them, but he was never official member of the group. And he's the one that brought about the whole resurrected people stuff.
Question.
Yeah, fun fact, the filler episode did set up reanimation, like Kabuto was getting better at it.
Yeah, apparently the episode was him robbing graves.
Question. This bothered me in Boruto. This really pissed me off because what? After everything Orochimaru did, he's still alive? Why? Why is he alive? This guy killed a lot of people. He killed the the other Hokage, the old man. He
Massive-
killed-
He also murdered the fourth Kazakaki off screen.
Off screen, mind you, but that could have made for a great murder mystery, believe it or not. But
Yeah, but no one knew he was dead until they found his body.
yeah, but
Yeah.
excuse me.
Oh, like, what was the purpose? Like, you could say, like, you asked the question of-
One at a time, gentlemen. Nick, go ahead.
That's the question. Like, what was the purpose of killing him? Simple. Do the Konoha Crush, which they kept claiming the anime. Oh, the village was destroyed, and you saw the after the anime. Not really. The village was fine. It was some smoldering smoke for some buildings, but the village wasn't destroyed like it was when the pain attacked it.
Oh no, this was just a small skirmish compared to the Pain's invasion. Konoha Crush was just a small skirmish.
Plus, Orochimaru killed the Sand Ninja Hokage. He took it for
The
him.
Kazekage revived the first and second, led to the death of the third. Again, Orochimaru is a heavy influence in the criminal underworld and can't be killed off by conventional means unless you track down every vessel he's planted his curse mark on in advance.
He better cut on Sasuke too.
I think his got removed by the Tosca blade during his fight with Itachi, if I remember correctly.
I never seen that episode. I don't remember. So
Okay,
yeah, well.
I'm not going to spoil too much for you, Tevye, but definitely go take the time to go through Shippuden if you can.
I'll try to watch all of it, but I'll just get on that episode. Or yeah, that's gonna take out the month. But anyway, speaking of Orochimaru, I don't get why is he alive, Boruto? This guy should be dead. Why?
Again, Orochimaru can't be killed by conventional means. The best you'd be able to do is seal him away, and even then, you'd lose valuable intel in the criminal underworld, especially as you're trying to unite the Five Nations.
Yeah,
That's why they kept him alive.
Orochimaru
And he's
has
out on board
killed
too.
once already in the series. He got killed by Sasuke. But then they
Yeah.
revived him in the most weirdest way possible.
Essentially, he had placed a curse mark on Anko before deserting the village, and no one thought about sealing it away just before then. Like everyone just forgot about it because Anko never used it.
And speaking of Anko, and we practically forgot about her when the war started. Like,
Pretty
no one
much.
really looked for her at all the whole war. Like, did not bother to go see where she was. Like, did Sasuke not leave a message to the village? Hey, Anko's in this case in a place. Go get her. It's like, did they forget about her the whole series?
To be fair, the war did take place over the course of 2.5 days.
Yeah, and like no one went to looking for her. Like, how long did it take to find her? I mean, Sasuke could easily told them.
I think she was part of Naruto's original diversion training detail. Then she was abducted by Kabuto. Then she was staggered and slightly poisoned in the cavern for the battle between Kabuto, Itachi, and Sasuke. And then after her curse mark was undone to revive Orochimaru, she was left there over the course of the infant Tsukiyomi. And at most, she was only there for like a day and a half.
I'm like, no one went to look for her. There was no mention of her. Hey, we found her. She's fine.
It was kind of just skipped over. I don't even think she got roped in the infinite Tsukiyomi. I think she was just knocked out in that cave the whole time.
Yes.
Wow.
Heck, she could easily woken up and could be completely unaffected by it.
Pretty
But
much.
no, they didn't anything to it. There was one scene I thought was really cool when they did the resurrection stuff. When they brought back those 4 Kage. They brought back Gaara's father, the Razakage's father, the second Mazakage,
Tsuchikage, I think.
yeah, and I think it was the second Tazik, basically it was
Tazik.
Odo's predecessor, and it was May's 2 before her.
Okay, so the second Mizukage, the second Tsuchikage, Lord A, which was the third Raikage, and Gaara's father.
Who was the 4th Kazakage.
Who was killed by Orochimaru?
Yes. As the other ones who died, I believe that the other 2 ones are second. I think they killed each other. And Lord A, I think he died in a battle with, I think it was basically trying to battle a bunch of Shinobi.
Either the Battle of the Thousand Shinobi or he died against the Gold and Silver brothers. I forget. But the
Yes.
Gold and Silver brothers did lead a rebellion at the 5 Kage summit and killed some of the Kages during Hashirama's reign.
Yeah.
But,
It would have been nice
we
if somebody actually talked to
was killed by Orochimaru.
the Mazakage. Like, I had this thing, basically, the thing in my head, if my character ended up in that world, he's with Gaara, and my thing would basically, my character be like, oh, he gets a chance to talk to everyone else hiding. I like, hi, guys. I know who you are. And you're the Mazakage, right? Yeah. The one who's currently have your job as smoking hot babe. You, I know your son, and you, I know your son too. You, I know your student, and he's a badass.
we've officially crossed into late night territory. Thank you, Nick. We've officially crossed into late night territory.
Yeah, that was my character would probably say some. Because I had this thing in my head. My character would go these other worlds from fiction, and Naruto is one of them.
Nice.
And he would also try, and they also brought back the previous Jiraiya. One got killed off prior to this one. Some were introduced in filler stories, like the one is the host of the Lucky Seven and
Few, I think. Few, I believe her name is.
Yeah, she was introduced in that one stork, the tuning exam, prior to Naruto coming back. Then she dies off screen, and then she comes back as a reincarnated zombie.
What? That's
Yeah, that was kind of weird. Also,
Basically, she's brought back as a reanimation to help chain the tailed beasts. A lot of the fallen.
Here's something kind of funny. There was this during that scene. They had the two-tail one host two-tail cat who's also from the same village as Killer Bee. He had this thing where he was basically being a pervert to her.
Of
Like,
course.
ooh, look at her breast. Yes, seriously, he did this. And I'm like,
no, you're thinking of the Two Tails Jinchuriki. What was her name? Yuiko, I think.
Yes, where they captured. I think they captured her first before anybody else.
Yeah, because they had to follow a specific order: the one tail, the two tail, the three tail.
Yeah, but
isn't that Arthur Rock Lee? I know there's him.
Rock Lee is not host of a Jiraiya.
No, I think he's referring to Gaara.
Yeah, Gaara. Gaara is the one who actually survived or having his beast move because Granny Chio transferred her chakra to him.
Basically, sacrificed herself. But it made for a decent redemption arc. So
yes, and plus also the fact that when she first took Kakashi, she thought he was his father, the White Wolf.
White Fang, I believe.
White Fang. And of course, basically, Sakura asked, who's White Fang? My father.
Yep.
Which, and when you see him in the anime, like, yeah, I can kind of buy the fact why she was mistaken for him because, like father, like son.
And he looks just like Sakumo. Like, if you take Kakashi's mask off, he's the spitting image of his father.
Yeah, that's the thing with the series where, like, all the characters' offspring look exactly like their parents. Like, Shikamaru looks like his father, except he's got no scars on his face.
No, Yoga father. I don't know.
I think it's just repurposing designs more than anything else.
You know that would be interesting story to explore because you know that Shikamaru's father had the scars on his face. That would be an interesting story to explore. How the heck got those scars in the first place?
Battle experience, barely getting out of it, the thick of it by the grace of his teeth.
Yeah, and also
being at you with a monster inside you.
Yeah, in the case of Choji's father, well, you look at him, look at Choji, you can buy the fact that he's your father and something he's look exactly alike.
Speaking of God, don't mind me. Did God get this Beast monster back? I
don't think Gaara merged with Shikaku. I don't think he did.
No, he never did.
Ow.
By the time Naruto, they're separated. Nope. There was at one point that Shikaku shrunk, and Himawari played him like it was like a little puppy.
Ow.
I thought that was funny. It was during the whole thing with the when they had that original villain, Uzi. I don't remember his name. The one who popped up in the Boruto movie adaptation for the anime. The one
Urashiki. He was cut out due to time constraints.
Yes, and the whole arc is based upon Kishima's original script. I think it was the only thing they brought back from the original script because Mostly everything is just an extension of like there was one episode they had for the whole entire arc that was in the movie. It was a 5-minute scene that was extended to 23 minutes.
Pretty much.
Yeah, and also the way they had in the anime was that Kara was loosely involved with turning. I keep forgetting the scientist's name, the one that gave Boruto the
Katazuke. Basically, okay, this is a huge spoiler if you haven't read the main story already. But Al miraculously survives the Biju bomb explosion from the command center. I think he's buried in rubble, and he's reconstructed by Kara, so he's indebted to them. Then he infiltrates Konoha for a random checkup, and then he bounds Katazuke under a genjutsu. But even with that, I think Boruto, due to his insecurities, would end up using the ninja tools regardless.
Yes, and I believe also he showed up for a ceremony to honor the dead of the Fourth Ninja War.
Yeah, he did show up at the memorial.
Where he got a chance to see Shikamaru because he knew his father.
Yeah.
I think it was just Shikamaru, and I think Ino was in the scene too.
Yeah, Ino was there as well. But they don't exactly explain how Al survived. He's holding a water-style construct, overseeing everything, especially as the Biju bomb's about to make impact. But they immediately cut to the following day after the infant Tsukiyomi's undone. Like, he was right there with a water construct. He was right at ground zero when the Biju bomb hit. There's no way he should have survived this.
Yeah, somehow he did. It's not thoroughly explained. Like, if he survived, then why can't anybody else from that building survive?
Maybe he wrapped a construct around himself in an attempt at the last second. Maybe survival instinct kicked in.
Yeah, one thing I can buy for in the case of Shikamaru's father, I can buy he possibly died because the only jutsu his clan knows is stuff with shadows.
Yeah.
In the case of Ino's father, who was there too,
Inoichi.
yes, he probably the same thing too, because his clan is like in the case of Shikamaru's father, it's more long distance style jutsu.
No, unless he left his post and hightail it, there's no way he would have made it out of the base in time.
Yeah, there's no way. Though there was this one joke where like he came in and basically he walked at his daughter changing. I thought that was a really weird scene.
And now we're demonetized. Thanks, Nick.
Yeah, that happened in the anime in one of the episodes, but he didn't see anything because she covered herself up. And I'm not sure.
And again, good to see you too, Sahila. God, I apologize if I mispronounced that.
Yes. When it comes to the previous 10 before Ino, Shikamaru, and Choji, like there's like maybe 2 episodes with these 3 are seen together, 2 or 3 at most, and that's it.
Like, and that's kind of the biggest blow when you're transitioning into Boruto because you don't see the old Vanguard that much.
Yeah, the one before the previous generation. Like,
yes.
The one thing Shippuden missed out on, they did this kind of a little bit in one episode, kind of flashback when they brought that Eternal Genin in. He brought it up for 2 episodes. He was a really cool character. He's a character who didn't want to die. That's why he was promoted to Chunin. But they could have had like a whole arc dedicated to the previously before Shikamaru's group to explore like adventures for them, but never did. And currently in the main series, like, can you think of a single episode where Shikamaru, Choji, and Ino all share a scene together in the series?
Outside of like light novel adaptations like Parent and Child Day, outside of direct novel adaptations, no.
Isn't that weird?
No, I don't remember any of them.
It's kind of the same thing with
one at a time, gentlemen. Tavia?
The previous Team 7. Huh? Guess how many times in the anime that you actually saw them share a scene together in the whole series?
3.
The only time I remember seeing the shared scene together was for the Sada arc.
Gaiden. But that was just wait, I know Ino got a role because Sakura was worried about Sarada running away.
Yeah, but
Choji got a flashback scene when he was in butterfly mode, getting some medicine for Chocho. But I don't think Shikamaru. Oh, he did. He was with Naruto. He was about to leave the village.
Yeah, but
Ah,
in the case of Hinata's team, Hinata, Kiba, and Shino, nope,
Shino becomes a teacher. Kiba
is a police
joins
officer.
the new Konoha police force along with Rock Lee for some reason.
Hinata, I think, is a reserve ninja / housewife.
Yeah, semi-retired. Yes.
Yes, but they never show any scenes together for some reason.
that's odd.
I don't even
Oh,
think
and
we've
the
seen
one missed
Kurenai
opportunity
Sensei,
that the
believe it or
series-
not.
The series hyped this. Mogi, Konohama's friend. Yeah, they hyped the fact she knows wood jutsu. In the entire series, do we see her use any jutsu?
No.
Only one time in the manga where she uses a wood style construct when
Yeah.
Amada.
Udon has an episode where he uses jutsu. Kohaku, Konohamaru.
Konohamaru.
Yeah, he always uses jutsu. But Mogi? Nope. The best of all of her was catching a beam. That's it.
Maybe he lied. Who knows?
It's
Wait,
almost
didn't
like
Konohamaru get his own last tragic love story in the anime?
yes,
I don't know.
Yeah, he
It's
did.
been a long time since I watched
yeah. It was
Naruto.
I think it was a 2 or 3 parter, and she lost memories.
Speaking of Naruto, don't mind me. I know this show I country back in the day because apparently they didn't want Tsunami got canceled. Beginning to this show, Tsunami went kaput.
I
Which-
think it was because an executive higher up ended up leaving, and it was a huge power vacuum, and no one could fill the spot, so they just cut their losses and ended the block and just licensed.
Which
Yeah,
no,
I
I
think
didn't know
that,
that finished. That's why I was saying
from what
that
I've
finished
read-
in the US until years later.
From what I've read, Shippuden, the airing for that would never finished here.
Yeah, it did.
It never finished. It was outsourced. I think Disney XD ended up picking it up.
Yes, but the whole series is on DVD. I own some of it.
I was wondering about that. I was wondering why
Yeah,
we never got
this
part
video-
finished.
Here's kind of the strange thing: if you want to get any dub for Boruto, the best place you can find is on DVD.
Well,
Because-
that's what Adult Swim or Tsunami.
Yeah, which is
remember.
on-
I don't even.
night.
I don't even think it made it to the movie recap. I think it made it to like episode 52.
And then
It was like
stopped.
just before it.
Yeah, but I've been watching. First, I watched on this other website, which eventually I had to stop using this website because they had to charge like $5 for a subscription for some reason. I don't know why. But eventually, I got Crunchyroll a few years ago, and I'm watching on there for the past 3 years on there. That's why I watched Boruto on, and I watched the whole series subbed because, well, I didn't know when the dub was gonna come out. And to my knowledge, the dub is never released to Crunchyroll. Never.
That's annoying. What the hell? What the
I know
fuck?
I know after the DVD releases, they sync some of the dub episodes on Hulu, but they're not current. They are not
Yeah.
current. I think the farthest Hulu got with the dubs is, I believe, up to the Jigen fight.
Yeah,
Yes,
I
I
think that's the first thing I stopped.
For
I don't
Shippuden,
remember.
they got as far, for what I remember, because they stopped halfway through the Three Tail arc, and then I went back to it years later, and they went beyond that. I think they got as far as About the Pain. I think the Pain is the first they got with it.
I'm tired.
I think it was first they got with it, but that's the first I saw of it. When I rewatched the dub for Shippuden, the first I got with it was about season 10. I never got a chance to finish it because I had too much stuff on my plate, so I said I'd put it to the side and maybe watch it later. So, but I did get a chance that year to watch and do reviews for Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT, and Super. I got a chance to watch all of them.
This is a train wreck.
Yeah, but I had to watch all because basically I wanted to do all the reviews for the Dragon Ball series. The only one I didn't do it for is Kai.
Oh yeah, Kai did you tell you Dragon Ball Z? You just skip that thing.
Yeah, I watched a little bit of it, so I understand the whole series. But I probably will get a chance to watch at some point, but not currently because I'm busy with other stuff. So That's the situation with that.
I know. Kai cut away the Gold Junior Saga. I know Gold Junior Saga that's not canon, but you know what?
Yeah.
I don't give it.
The whole
I
thing
like
with
the
Kai
saga.
is that
Period.
it sticks close to the original material of Dragon Ball Z, or is adapted from, and just cuts all the filler out. Like the opening story arc Raditz, the opening arc originally in the original series was 6 episodes, and Kai is 3.
I
Because
thought
I
that was
get,
the
I
case.
get why. I get why they did, but honestly, Stunning First is pretty good.
yes,
Like I said before, the God Junior
Oh,
Saga, I think that it would
that's
expand more
nice.
on Tommy, expand more enjoy on 100% there. Fan of.
Yeah, he's saying that they're available in Australia. That's nice they're available in Australia, but thing is, I've never been there.
Well, he
But that,
was over there.
that is a fun fact I very much found interesting. But how did you feel not only about this chapter, but I just feel like the main reason Boruto gets this now, the time skip being rushed, that's mostly so they could rebrand it with two blue Vortex. We knew the time skip was going to be rushed. No one's going to refute that. But I just feel like they kind of fell into the same trap Super did because they got Boruto Naruto the movie out with relatively cheap production cost, at least on the animation. They could just nostalgia bait and just crap it out, basically.
Yes.
They should did the exact thing with the movie. They did that thing about God and the exact thing for Resident F.
No,
Which
Super's a little
why?
different because One Piece Gold was still One Piece movie Gold, I believe, was still in post production at the time. So a lot of their best animators were on that project. So they had a bunch of C and D listers wrap up those first 10 to 15 episodes of Super.
I
or at
think
least,
for Gold, I think that was the first anime appearance of Gear 4.
yes.
I don't watch One Piece, so
It
honestly,
did.
I
I'm almost
know.
positive that was the first. Please let us know in the comments if we're wrong, but I'm pretty sure the first
I know
anime
in the case
debut
of Gear 5, its debut was in Red before it showed up in the anime. I know because I've seen Red. I've seen the last.
I have not. I
Gear.
don't watch One Piece.
One Piece is a great series, Tim. It may be long, but it's so.
Yeah, that's what I heard. It's a very long series. You know, honestly, it's
Let 'em
been
cook,
so
Tevye.
damn
Let 'em
long
cook.
that I watched any One Piece, so I'm lost.
Pure fun. That's why I call One Piece.
Yeah,
Pure
that's
fun.
what I heard about.
Yeah. Crunchyroll.
The only thing I know who One Piece are Yuppie, the redhead chick, and 7 other characters, and that's all I remember.
I don't think they
And,
got.
oh yeah, but Yuppie shut it on. That's all I know.
Like, Tyler was asking it, like, if I were a guest, I wouldn't be surprised doing another Boruto movie. I don't think there's any plans for Boruto. I've not heard anything about another one.
Now originally
the
the
one thing
time slip.
I know Boruto doing when I did the manga, that's all I remember.
Now I do know that the time slip arc was originally going to be a movie, but because they thought it would have been too similar to one of the Naruto Road to Ninja films, specifically the Time Dagger, they decided to make it an anime filler arc instead.
Yes.
Time Dagger? What?
Just moving back to series. As far as I can tell for the series, the rumor I've heard when part 2 is supposed to come out is October. That's rumored, but that's the latest I heard. I heard it is coming, but nothing's been confirmed on Parrot's part. My guess is because too busy promoting Bleach.
Definitely, because
What's that? When is Attack on Titan Part 3 coming out? Because I've been waiting for that for months.
For which?
Wait the dub to come out that thing.
For which one?
Attack on Titan.
I think the dub is out for season 4, but I haven't had a chance to watch.
No. I know Part 2 came out last year. I'm waiting for Part 3.
I think it's out. Let me take a look here.
Well, I'm still waiting for the dub to come out for Part 3.
Well, they have it where they call them specials for some reason.
Yeah, but they're pretty much OVAs. Let's be honest.
Well, not in the case of this one. This is Attack on Titan, the final season, final chapter special. This is not an OVA for this one. This is just basically more of the chapters, and it's like over an hour long. It's like a movie. I heard something supposed to be part 2 really soon, but that was like, I don't know, like a few months ago.
Yeah, a few years ago.
That was supposed to be released like last month, but that never happened. So there is one out, and the 4th season is completely dubbed. The episode released so far, but the final season, final chapter special is not dubbed yet,
Of course.
and that came out back in March.
Yep.
So no dub in that part, but there is a dub for season 3. 4. I haven't watched the dub for season 4 yet.
I like all of season 4. It's very intense.
20th anniversary OVAs.
I don't watch the 20th video. I never watched them. Period.
The OVAs, they're very odd to say the least. Like there's one where Konohamaru, when he was a kid, asked everybody to form a team fight at 4-Week Clover. There's one about tuning exam where Naruto obviously loses. And somehow that Konohamaru made a tuning for him. I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, there's also one where here's one that's really weird. It's called it's all about making. It's basically Itachi making Sasuke sunny side up eggs.
What?
And he does this the entire OVA, and Sasuke gets up and he sees on the kitchen floor plates of sunny side up eggs because Itachi keeps getting it wrong. That's the whole story of this damn thing. It is the weirdest thing I've ever seen. It's got the most bizarre animation. It is just so odd.
Weird.
I think there's about 6 of them, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, but they are what? Yeah, the Naruto. Okay, there were a few Naruto OVAs, but some of them were carried over into the Storm games. But there are, especially the Akatsuki ones.
Mm-hmm.
But I just know that for the 20th anniversary, all through September, they're reanimating old Naruto iconic Naruto fights and episodes with a modern style. And I think they're going to be structured like OVAs, but I wouldn't be surprised if they're like a month-long special event. I would not be surprised.
Yeah.
Are they going to be English dub or just sub only? If it's sub only, I'm out. I don't watch sub.
There was a rumor I heard they were going to remake the anime, but I think Parrot basically shot that down quickly.
Good.
Because there's no point.
We don't need a remake. Because a remake is a bad idea. Fucking up.
And fun fact, before it was ultimately changed to Boruto, they were going to remake, they were going to pull a Kai and remake Naruto in modern animation. Kishimoto just ended up changing his mind in the end, but they were going to do that. Studio Period was planning on doing that originally.
I know for my I'm gonna remake for my Butter. I think Butter would be fantastic at the remake.
Okay, there's like 12 of these OVAs. Overall, there's 5 in the 4-League Crimson Void Flower, Mission to Protect the Waterfall Village, Kona Annual Sports Festival, Finally Class Johnny vs. Genin, Hurricane Academy, Kona Academy Chronicles, Naruto Crossroads, Naruto Genie and 3 Wishes. Yeah, this one's basically about all the characters finding a genie bot ever granting wishes. And it's surprising, and none of this asks basically for Naruto to confirm if he's in love with her. It's weird.
Mm-hmm.
There's Naruto X UT, where it's like Naruto defeated by Sasuke pronounced dead. Tuning exam, Fire versus Konohamaru. Naruto's Konohamaru. This one I thought was really good. I actually did see this one. It's the first Hokage versus Man Uchiha. Then there's the Sunny Side Battle. That's the whole thing of Itachi making Sunny Side breakfast. And they have the American Hokage.
Why always been so unnecessary in my opinion?
No, there's nothing wrong with OVAs being campy. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just they don't have an overall story to them.
The only one they consider canon of all of these is the day Naruto became Hokage. It's the only one I've seen of these actually is canon.
Only one.
Yeah, all the ones just seem so random.
It's weird. These ones are like some of the most bizarre ones. Like, it is just so odd. Oh,
I know. My hero probably had one.
Okay, the Hurricane Konoha Family Chronicles. This is kind of an interesting one. It's what if, get this, the characters exist in the real world and they went to a Japanese high school, and the Akatsuki were like the Yakuza, and Naruto was kind of like, and get this, the principal was Tsunade, and like all the characters dressed differently than they do the main series. It's done in the style of like a manga-ish, where you don't see him speak very much. It's like an alternate universe. And it's also obvious, basically, Naruto is not much. He's less of an idiot in this one than he is in the main series. And he does know Hinata's got a thing for him. And at one point, he's about to make out and they get interrupted. It's a really interesting one. I do recommend checking out Tibia because it's like a what if scenario. Like, what if they exist in the real world? And none of them got jutsu. I think this may have been the original idea that Kishima had for Naruto before he changed to ninjas.
This is so boring and not interesting.
I mean,
Yeah,
a lot of these OVAs were made during syndication in Japan. The majority of these OVAs. I think the only one that wasn't was the day Naruto became Hokage.
There was a series similar to this. The whole idea of like alternate setting where in high school was actually made into an actual series. Attack on Titan, junior high.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. I seen it on Hulu. With it. What? This is weird and stupid.
Yeah, where the principal of
parody?
Titan.
Yeah, they're a parody of Attack on Titan.
Which makes no freaking sense because Class Titan is somebody else in the main series.
Yeah, it's confusing. What? Again, I've not watched that. No, see, but I know it's TV one, right?
It is like the funniest thing is they have Armin basically he has to have his blanket the whole episode. That's his gag, and you have
That's funny.
I think what was her name? The female leader.
I can't remember. Not honest to God, I can't remember.
Mitsuka.
I want to say Ichika.
Miska.
Yeah. Mitsuka.
Where there's a story behind
friend.
her where she's named after a battleship, and according to local, it's Mitsuka Armin. That's the name. Yep. According to Japanese urban legends, if you name a character after a battleship, the series becomes automatically successful.
Yep.
So it's a good luck charm, basically.
Yes. Yeah, and Mitsuka, and her thing is like she wears a scarf that Armin gave her, and she's just realistic close in the whole series.
Yep.
And apparently you have the 3DM gear where have you use Attack Titans. They use them for cleaning walls of the school.
What?
Yes, seriously. And in case you're curious, though, does Armin turn into a Titan the whole series? Nope. He has not turned into a Titan. He stays in human form the whole series. And it's basically a comedy.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Basically an in-brand parody, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, no thanks. I'm good. Because they wouldn't say fun way to even though it's a dark series.
Oh my god.
Speaking of everyone has gone full overkill. I'm not kidding. He's gone full crazy.
That's a separate topic for a different video. Nick, can please continue?
Yeah. Yeah, some OVAs I can feel their canon just by watching it because they mention stuff that happens in the main series, but not everything.
Yep.
Denki. Oh yeah. You're saying he's a cool character. He is.
He is.
But he's not in the manga.
Nope.
He's probably a new character.
Yeah, he was one of the original ones. So was Asumori, but they added her to the manga after the anime and I think she was the only one who appeared in the manga after her debut in the anime.
Nice.
You're right. I think so too. I'm almost positive. Let us know in the comments if there was one more, but I'm pretty sure she was the only one.
Yeah, and
well, gentlemen, it's getting late over here. I need to sleep.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks for stopping by, Tevi. You want to promote yourself before you go?
Yeah. Then you have a day, and then you have the grand here. But I got going and the shooter on the clock over here. Midnight. You can follow me at Thomas Milker on my favorite Twitter. Oh yeah. I'll send you about me and Jay discussing on a topic I did today on Article CBR. Thanks CBR for giving me the idea. On why DD Legacy Kid. Okay, well DD Trendy failed Legacy failed. Well, DC failed Legacy Kid that failed. I think that's the name. I don't remember, but I did do a video today. On that article I did. Yeah. Why did you Legacy Trendy failed? Yeah, maybe that's the title of the article itself. So do a major discussion on that. hopefully tomorrow, maybe. If not tomorrow, maybe some Tuesday, Wednesday. I will probably finish anything. Oh, yeah, we can do that. But other than that, yeah, fighting training. Thank you, G. Yep. Yeah, so you got just gonna actually more. Hopefully tomorrow, maybe Tuesday or Wednesday. I don't know. We'll probably finish anyway that off stream. Thank you,
We'll keep you
Johnny,
posted.
and yeah, we'll keep posted on that one. Other than that, after any of it, I'm gonna do a probably come Night Terror finale, which oh god, that event's been so goddamn boring. Thank God it's ending on Tuesday. Finally, it's over. I don't want to do that event ever again. What a waste of time that event was. What was the point?
Last minute, try to get the numbers up before the end of the fiscal year. That's all that this book amounted to.
Yeah. Wasted potential. Just right, man. There's no other way potential. That's kind of like both of them are bad means. Yeah, whatever.
All right, Tevye, I'm gonna go ahead and play you out because you're kind of starting to look a little tired. So I'm just gonna play you out with this clip right quick.
Definitely try.
Okay.
Wonderbat.
Never gets old. Take it easy.
Yeah. See you guys. Bye.
Okay. Now we can get a little back on track.
Yes.
So before we move on, Nick, any real nitpicks or your perspective going through part one, because you are pretty caught up with the anime?
Aside from problems I had with the hit and miss art, the second one they had, there's some good and some bad stuff related to the series. The worst arc of the whole thing is the Chocho 2-parter. It is, you watch it, it is bad. Oh my gosh, this thing is so bad.
Even by rom-com logic, I forgot those 3 episodes existed. Jesus Christ.
It was so bad. It was the worst thing I've ever seen.
Like I've seen. Please continue, Nick, because hold on, I gotta pull the banner.
I'm trying to think. And there are bad episodes besides those 3.
This is warranted.
Yes. Would you agree that that's the worst arc of the whole entire anime?
Oh, hands down. Hands down.
All the rest of the episodes are good per se. They're good character pieces for a lot of characters. The only team I kind of felt this though they should have done a lot more with is the Sumeri's team and the other team who had that character who was a fan of Kakashi. I kind of feel that they should give those 2 teams a lot more screen time, and Denki's team obviously. But I felt as though they spent a little bit too much time on Boruto's team. And I kind of felt as though some episodes without Boruto actually worked. Like Naruto, in the case of him, you don't necessarily need to have all the time the whole series episodes focus on him cooking other characters, not just I know he's a star, but there are other characters you can focus on. Like 1010 had several focus episodes for her in the series, even though she barely got focused in the manga.
Now, I don't know if they could ever confirm this, but in regards to Metal Lee, is he an orphan kid or did Rock Lee and 1010 do something and Rock Lee just forgot?
They've never confirmed who Rock Lee's mother is, but Rock Lee is definitely Metal Lee's father. That is 100% definite.
Because I do remember hearing something about they were going to at least set up that Rock Lee and 1010 did have a little fling going on while consoling over Neji in the war, but it ultimately didn't work out. But that's just a rumor I heard, and I wouldn't be surprised since Boruto's an even younger demographic than what Naruto was, even in Japan.
Yes.
So,
I think that Naruto was for teenagers.
Yes. Whereas
Boruto, I think, is a bit younger than that, but not elementary school age. No, it's not elementary school. It's more like middle school-ish.
Like right at 6th, 7th grade, somewhere around there.
Yes. I think that Blue Vortex is more high school stuff now.
Oh, definitely.
Yes. I kind of feel as though that that one character who died during the hit and miss arc, not the third Mazukaga's
Kagura?
Yeah, Kagura. I was fine with him dying because they actually built up his death and he warranted his death. The other one was not necessary.
Are you saying that in terms of how she interacted with Metal Lee, or the fact that they just killed her off for the sake of impact?
Yeah, it was killed for shock value. I didn't like that at all. I thought that was a really stupid idea. And I have to say they could have done more with the character. But nope, they killed her off. Because we had to have another character die. Had to be the character who got the least amount of development. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised though if she and Rock Lee seemed like he had a crush on her and she noticed it, but nothing came of it. And he barely mourns her death.
No build-up whatsoever. And I'm just like, I get what they were trying to do, the impact of war, the consequence, the cycle of hatred. But I get you didn't want to retread Shizuma by bringing him back, but I feel like the outside of Kagura and the fake ninja swordsman, this was more a redemption arc for Yuri. I believe that's her name. Kiba's daughter.
I believe she's Raga's daughter.
Raga's daughter. I almost said Kiba. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he was the character who debuted in a fillers episode.
Yeah, he was canonized after the fact, but he originally debuted in the filler episode.
Yes. And I still think it was kind of weird, though, she never went out to Boruto because Boruto's father was the one who murdered her father.
I think the anime explains it how she kind of brushed him off as a brat, and Sarada would have given him more of a challenge.
Despite the fact Naruto's probably better trained.
I guess it's just a setup of a girl versus girl fight within the episode while Boruto was tag teaming with Mitsuki against Shizuma.
As far as I can tell, when it comes to Naruto, he never actually fought any girls per se. He did fight one, but all he did was slap her. He never actually fought any girls in the series.
Wait, what about that one filler episode where he was fighting the pupil of a love interest Jiraiya had, and it was a kind of a Shinobi, a marriage proposal by combat?
Yeah, it was kind of weird, but it wasn't like really like physical per se. The other one I could think of where he did fight her was during that anime original thing that came just before Hidan showed up. The one that explored that group that Ashima was part of.
Oh, the Fire Temple Guardian arc.
Yeah, where like he fought that girl who apparently her weakness was her hair, not her face, her hair. And she had this thing where like, ooh, I want to make out because I want your chakra.
I forget her name, honest to God, but I know
Yeah,
what you're talking
and
about.
You see her like, damn, this one was hot, and yet Naruto's like, not interested in you at all. I think she's supposed to be older than Naruto. I think Naruto's supposed to be about, 15 at this point?
15, 16. No, he doesn't turn 16 till around the Pain arc. So definitely 15.
Actually, he turned 16 when the war wrapped up.
I thought he turned 17 when the war wrapped up. It was his 17th birthday.
Oh, okay. Because the war ended on his birthday. I thought that was by sheer coincidence. The war ended on his birthday.
Huh.
Wasn't that something?
Oh, I'll have to look for the wiki, but I'm pretty sure the war ended when he turned 17.
Yeah. And she presumably, look at her, she's presumably in her 20s. And it's something, though, that Naruto is not much of a ladies' man.
He's really not. He's really not.
He's a bit of a pervert, but not a ladies' man.
That's what learning from Jiraiya will do to you, I'm afraid.
Yeah, but he at least doesn't punch women.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Look at Boruto, for example. I don't think he's ever hit a single woman in the whole series.
Hold on, No, he blitzed past Yuri in the fake ninja swordsman in the attempt to blitz Shizuma. He kind of just speed blitzed past them, but I don't think he ever hit a girl in the series.
No, he never did because he probably didn't feel it necessary. I mean, you look at, let's say, like Mitsuki, for example. You ever see him hit a woman? Or
I think we did, because remember, there was a filler episode with Mitsuki where he was trying to uncover a revenge plot on a former criminal who integrated into the village. But I don't think a direct bout came about. I think it was a small skirmish.
Yeah, but it's like one thing I at least appreciate about Boruto and Naruto. You don't have much for intergender battles very much. Like, you don't have, well, Sakura, yes, she's fought guys before in the series.
Yes.
But you don't have guys fighting evil women in the series very much. It very rarely ever happens.
And I heard a rumor that Kishimoto is not good at writing female characters. Almost as if Tsunade was a complete fluke.
Yeah. Especially as you have a woman in her 50s and she looked like in her 20s because of a jutsu. And also there was a funny thing where Guy basically wanted to woo her. I'm like, Guy is like what, 30?
I think he's 35 during Shippuden. I think he's like 35.
And Tsunade is 20 years older than he is. And he's trying to woo a woman who's 20 years older than he is. Does that make any sense to you?
You can't blame the guy for trying.
Yeah, and after that, I think he did try once. I think they dropped it right afterwards. Because maybe they thought it was a little creepy for a guy who's 30 trying to take a woman who's in her 50s.
Mm.
And here's the strange thing, though. Aside from Tsunade, he's never had any interest in women the whole series.
You know that? I've never noticed that until now.
You know who else never had any interest in women the whole series?
Kakashi?
He actually had kind of different couple of ones. Shino never developed interest in women.
Okay, Shino.
Yeah, him. I'm trying to think who else.
I think those are the only two. Kiba does have a girlfriend, but she's part of a clan of cat lovers.
Yeah.
So if they got married, that's a territorial dispute waiting to happen.
Rock Lee. You never saw him get infatuated. Well, aside from Sakura, he never went anywhere with Sakura, but you don't see him pursuing any women.
There was a filler character who had a crush on him, but I think that's about as far as it got.
Yeah, and it seems like he doesn't go much anywhere at all. Oh yeah, that definitely is true. A romance scene between Minto and his wife. And this is something though that Naruto looks exactly like his father, but he gets his mother's. I don't know what he gets from his mother.
Her attitude, the Date Bayo, and her temper.
Yes, which apparently Himawari picked the temper too.
Ironically.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
You would think it'd be Boruto given how much of a brat he is, but
no, he's very calm. He very rarely gets angry. Though you could definitely say he's less of an idiot than his father was at that age.
that's a fair point. He's more misguided than anything else. Even the prologue openly admits he was a brat back then, which the anime cut out for some reason.
Yeah, and also the fact that he never believed the Susumu was a threat at all. He thought that a lot of the stuff she was doing was a lot of bullcrap. And it was kind of implied that she was falling for him the way the Amber presented it. It seems like she was maybe some hints of attraction to them. But I think they might be going someplace with that. But the only other characters, I talked to Edgar about this. The only characters I could possibly see as a potential romance between them is Dinky and Chocho.
Denki and Chocho.
Yes, that could work.
I could see that actually, believe it or not. It can't be worse than those infamous 3 episodes based on a rom-com, soap opera, bull crap.
Yeah. Aside from those two, I can't think of any. It's also been hinted Sadara's got a thing for Boruto, but that I don't think that they want to push that at all.
Definitely, especially after what you saw on internet forums as the series was wrapping up. Because you
remember that one episode when they form the teams and I think it's Iwambi where he just elbows Boruto in the head. And it seems like, oh no, they're gonna have the Boruto and Sadara kiss, but he's kissing the bottom of her foot. Oh, it's so funny. Like, and the joke is like the meme online was like they have Sasuke. This is so funny. He's like, Did someone kiss my daughter? Yeah, that face on post on Twitter. That was so funny.
Oh,
And no denying, that was the stupidest scene in Naruto. One of the stupidest scenes. That thing with
oh,
Naruto and Sasuke. That was so stupid. And I think that was supposedly done. I think I originally showed it. I think it was may have been Shikamaru actually. There was or some random guy.
yeah. I think it was a random student who kind of shoved Naruto as he was getting in Sasuke's face. Naruto was shoved, but I don't remember it was who. I think it was a random kid, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was Shikamaru.
Because these two didn't like each other very much. And then here's the strange thing. They referenced that later on when they had mentioned, oh yeah, Naruto's like, I haven't kissed a girl yet. And I think Kurama was like, you kissed Sasuke? Oh my gosh. He's like, you cannot let that go, can you, dude? It's like basically Kurama has got the funniest stuff to say.
Oh, Kurama was always a smart ass, but
And do you agree it was a bit of a mistake to kill him off?
yeah, I do.
And here's the strange. There is this rumor I had heard before Kishimoto came back. Now we know the actual reason why the original writer left. That
Yeah.
the theory that was going on why the writers switched was because I think Kishimoto was worried that he was going to kill off Naruto too.
Yes, I did hear that rumor as well.
But then they switched to Kurama instead.
Yeah, because because Ikimoto, I believe there was an alleged rumor. Don't quote me on this, but there is a rumor that Ikimoto, where I would have arranged it because it's a natural segue. Code is the carryover, the loss of Lost Seventh, Kawaki's emotional spiral, losing Naruto, the pain of loss. That could work, but the way the manga executed, and you didn't have the anime as a crutch, so many people would have been pissed off.
Including Kishimoto, he probably never agreed with killing off Naruto, especially since it's been 15 years developing him.
Especially with the 20th anniversary was rolling around. No, Kishimoto wasn't having it. He wasn't having it.
Like, kill off any character, fine, but don't kill off Naruto.
I agree it would have been symbolic. But given everything going on,
the fans and the creator would never agree with it.
Oh, they never would have gone through with it. No.
Yes, and I think prior to Naruto getting sealed up, I think there was plans to bring back Kurama.
I think so as well.
But the question is, how can you bring back a tail beast guy who died? That's the question.
Wait, repeat that?
How can you bring back a tail beast who died?
The only way to usually a tailed beast is brought back through restorative chakra because they're pure chakra entities. So they could be reincarnated and brought back over a period of time. But if you use up your chakra to the point of absolute zero, that's it. You're dead.
Yeah. And it's shown that Naruto, when he had Kurama, he had two sets of chakra. His main chakra was blue, and Kurama's chakra was orange.
Orange is reddish, somewhere around there.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of weird that they never, like, they seem like they're building up toward the fact that he had, like, that's one thing I at least appreciate when it comes to Naruto. They built up that whole thing with him and Kurama through the whole series.
They did. And he does get both halves of Kurama by the end of the war. So even though he technically slacks off a little bit due to the stress of the Hokage position, he's still relatively stronger than what he was in Shippuden. Not by much, mind you.
Yeah, I heard someone mention that his healing ability has increased tremendously, but his attack power is decreased.
Yes.
And that's why he has trouble basically into combat. He can go Kibo, no problem, but it's just basically doing much of the fighting that's a bit of an issue. I think the best he can do is Sage Mode. Sage
Mode and a little bit of 6 Path Sage Mode. Again, he does have the same fervor he did when he was in his adolescence. So.
Yeah, but if you remember, a lot of the stuff he had when he had the Sage Path Mode
was temporary.
And plus it was destroyed when he fought Sasuke in round 2.
He did. He lost that arm. Any residual chakra he would have gained after sealing Kaguya, he lost in the final battle with Sasuke when his arm got blown off.
Yes, and I had this opinion for the longest time. When Sakura met up and later when she was healing them, like, because this fight from her perspective may have been like complete ridiculous, she should have slapped both of them for this fight.
Yeah, but they had lost a lot of blood. They were fighting for like a day straight. They were trapped in a crevice after the valley collapsed.
Maybe
Slowly
just-
losing.
Maybe she could slap them later when they're in the hospital.
Yeah. She probably got them back off screen.
Yeah, and I also thought that because the fact that it was confirmed that, well, Sakura, I think for Sasuke, that Sasuke should gave her a kiss before he left. But
He
that
did
didn't
give her
happen.
the forehead poke, which was a bond between him and Itachi. And
Which
again,
also his daughter as well.
yeah, because I think it was in the Sasuke Shinden novel that directly references Sarada's birth. So Sasuke and Sakura do reconcile within the 2-year gap leading to the last. It was by a couple of months.
And the way they explain it in one of the books, it seems like Sakura and Sasuke have a telepathic bond with each other.
They're just very close.
Yeah, it seems like they can telepathy sense each other, which is weird. It's never been fully explained. They mentioned in the books that these two can telepathically communicate with each other somehow, but it's not
Maybe
really
because he
explained.
technically forged her ring as a chakra construct, so he's constantly using a part of his power to interact with her through the ring.
Yeah.
But
And there was also mention of a ring when they adapted that Sasuke light novel for the anime before it ended.
yep,
Which
Which a-
in
which
my
a lot of
opinion-
people thought was filler. No, that's actually in the Sasuke Resident novel.
yes, which they also partially adapted the Kakashi one too.
Yeah, but a lot of Kakashi stuff was off screen, unfortunately.
Yeah, that brief scene we see him there, that's from his novel.
Yep.
And in my opinion, before they went to that the arc that led into time skip, they should have done more filler or done a light notation instead of doing this because they cut up with the manga too quickly.
They did. Not gonna lie.
They should
But
have.
I understand the hiatus though, especially from a staff and meeting deadline. These people have been running ragged for 5 years straight. The only real break they got was during COVID, and that was like a couple of weeks.
1 month.
Oh, it was a month. My mistake.
Yeah, the show was off the air for a month. But the manga came out. Or I might have to wrap it up here because it's getting kind of late.
Oh yes, definitely. So we'll probably only go through this for like a few more minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But any thoughts about Jigen, all the hype stuff? Even okay, I was gonna save this for a follow-up, but man, is Code even a villain at this point, or is he just a carryover from Ikimoto that Kishimoto doesn't know what to do with?
I have no idea. Though I did notice he changed his attire. Did you notice that?
Slightly. They did change his design slightly.
And also he's got a scar across his face.
He does. Maybe he lost his eye in a skirmish. During
And
the
they
time
also
skip.
mentioned for him that he had last saw Boruto 2 years prior to present day. So he must have ran during a time skip at some point.
Mhm.
Also, where's Sasuke? That's an
I wouldn't
interesting
I wouldn't be surprised if Sasuke's dead, but even with the time skip, you still have Momoshiki occasionally hijacking Boruto's consciousness.
One
So
thing
I
I
see
thought
this
was kind of weird, like you notice this chapter, you have Konohamaru. He's act like Shikamaru's assistant.
He's an advisor for Shikamaru, yes.
Yeah, but he's acting completely different than he was before. Like he's basically treating Sada a lot like she's basically a lot like she's a rookie. This was like he was her sensei,
Yes.
which from a story perspective that makes no sense.
Maybe she was recently demoted after not being willing to kill Boruto, after having a quote-unquote diluted sense of faith in him just due to the omnipotence.
Yeah, but they never confirmed if she was demoted or not, or even promoted in the series. The only one to know she was promoted, and they mentioned in the anime she was. She was the only one who was. Actually, she was one of two. They
Her and
both-
Shikadai were promoted.
Yes. Shikadai, I don't think they mentioned if she's still Chunin or not.
No, wait, no. Shikadai was the only one who got promoted based off the movie recap or the Momoshiki arc tuning exams. They did a filler tuning exams later on.
Which
Where
Sada was promoted in that one.
Yeah, Sarada was promoted in that one.
Yeah, the only ones who were promoted was Naruto, Boruto, and Mitsuki. They were the ones not promoted.
I don't even think they had their fight. They had to save Amato from being abducted. Then they went back to the
which
yeah.
You would think they would basically give an excuse of why they were not there, but no, they just canceled their fight outright because they weren't there.
I mean, they do get their rematch. They sneak into the tournament grounds and fight off screen as the episode pans out.
Yeah, but I
Right.
wonder who witnessed the fight. That's the question.
I don't think it would have mattered at that point since since under official tournament rule, they were no show, so it's an automatic draw/forfeit.
Yeah, but there's no way. Well, technically, they had cell phones. They could easily text, "Hey, we're running late because we're protecting somebody." They could have done that because they have cell phones in the series.
Yeah, but the only way I could headcanon that is if they didn't want to drag the episode into a two-part, the second tuning exams arc into a two-parter or another episode.
Technically, it was multi-part that one.
Huh.
It was 3 episodes.
It was 3. I guess they didn't want to drag it out to 4. They didn't get approved for 4.
Yeah. Some episodes, I kind of felt this should have been slightly longer, but they should have lasted a little bit longer than they did. Like the Sasuke one. That should have gotten one more episode.
Sasuke Resident.
Yes. Because the ending was rushed.
Oh, yes, definitely. The ending was rushed. One more episode would have nailed
They should have one more, and they should have adapted alongside it, but the costume could take place concurrently with it. But all they adapted was just a portion of the opening chapter. And that was
They
it.
did. I
I
think
thought,
they
really?
only adapted like the last couple of pages of the first chapter because they were doing a manga adaptation of the novel around the same time.
Yes. Well, I think just of the Sasuke one in the Ninja Scrolls, but that one never got adapted that I saw.
Konoha Resident got adapted. Sasuke Resident got adapted. Kakashi Resident got a brief reference since it was technically the prologue of the overall trilogy.
Mm-hmm. Which I have.
But I don't think Naruto Resident got referenced at all or even adapted. That's Naruto Resident right there.
Yep. I own it. I haven't had a chance to read it yet, but I think they should have the more to light novels instead of going straight to the manga.
And I just want to mention this before we wrap up. The first 50 episodes leading up to the movie recap weren't complete filler. Those were direct light novel adaptations.
I think only one was.
The New A arc. I know the New A arc was a light novel adaptation.
Cyber was the manga one.
Gaiden was manga.
Yeah.
The Ninja Swords, the fake Ninja Swordsman, I believe that was a brief skirmish in volume 3. Because I know there were 4 pre-movie light novels.
I heard about them. I've never read them. I've only read the ones released here. Because I own pretty much all of them that released here. But I kind of wish this be released a little bit more. But I don't know. Maybe it's a licensing issue or something.
Maybe. Especially with Naruto ending and Boruto starting up so soon.
As far as I can tell, Naruto's still probably a big seller for them. I'm like, why couldn't they license more?
Japan, at least from in my experience, from what I've researched, Japan underestimates the international market, especially with Dragon Ball. Like, they barely acknowledge it.
Yeah, here's a little fun fact for you. This book here, this was the last book released for years until they released these three. Until they released the trilogy to include the Parent-Child Day one. After this one came out, they didn't release anything into that trilogy that came out here.
Hey,
I don't know.
I know
why,
Sasuke Shinden got adapted. Konoha Shinden got adapted.
Shikamaru
Shinden, excuse me.
Yeah, but the 3 they had, only 3 that were released here, only Parent-Child Day was adapted. The other 2 were never adapted.
Nope.
And I like the one that for Shikamaru, which also featured Shikidai, but he was not a featured character. Shikamaru was. And this could have adapted as a flashback before Okanai died in the main series.
Yeah.
Because he's in the book. He's alive and well. His granddaughter is loosely there. The story goes is that the feudal lord wants to invade the land of flowers.
Yep.
For some stupid reason, and she cannot go against him because basically, if she does, it would mean an end to her village.
Yes, because the feudal lord is the one who funds everything.
Yes, and I think it's mostly Shikamaru basically who gets everything resolved pretty peacefully.
No, it's Shikamaru. He binds everyone to a shadow paralysis, and he's willing to declare the 5th grade ninja war right then and there because it's a conflict of interest between the hidden mist and the hidden stone. And Naruto has to use Nine Tails mode to break out of it. Like, you need to stop.
Yeah, and the one for Sasuke, which is called Master and People, that's mostly put basically like a mission where Sasuke acts as their team leader for a book. It's an interesting idea, but if they adapt these two for the series, they probably have to mention the Kawaki is off someplace.
Or just have it be OVAs that take place before Kawaki was found in the
Yeah.
Kara arc.
You could have. Like, you could have it where, in the case of Shikamaru one, have it as a flashback because
Yeah.
Okanai is no longer alive. You can have basically like, remember this? And him basically, you probably have him basically just smoking. Though I think by part 2 he was smoking.
Yeah, Shikamaru, especially in the manga, Shikamaru was smoking after Hidan died in the manga. In the anime, it was censored. But in the manga, he was smoking as far back
In
as
last
he
season,
could.
he did smoke a couple cigarettes.
He did.
Yes. Because he kept Ashima's lighter. And, I think he kept his very special kunai, which he later gave to his Ashima's daughter when she got old enough, because when you see her use those in the anime, I think those are the same ones her father used.
Yeah, I forget what they're actually called, but yes, those are the same knives, I believe.
As for when, my guess is when she became a guinea.
Probably as a graduating passing the guinea exams, he gave them to her as a gift.
And it's something that her mom still looks really good for her age.
Oh yeah, Kurenai is alive and well.
Yeah,
she wasn't
she didn't get like what Tsunade has, but she kept her health up really good. She still looks really good for her age.
I'd say Kurenai is canonically 47, right at 50.
Yeah, the only woman I've seen basically look that good for their age in the series is May.
Pretty much.
But I think she's about 50.
I think May is roughly Tsunade's age, if not a little about 10 years younger than her.
I think I remember hearing that at the start of Shippuden, she was 32.
So she'd be about 47. Lady May looks good for her age.
Not Anko.
That pissed off a lot of people too, not gonna lie.
Yeah, I was not happy to see her put on weight. Like, maybe they could have an episode to have her lose that weight.
Maybe it's a one-off, and then as she finally goes into Shinobi retirement, she gains it all back. I mean, but that did give her a decent dynamic with Chocho.
Yes. But at least Chocho can actually lose her weight, not like Anko.
Well, Chocho technically has to use butterfly mode to do that.
Yeah, but that consumes a lot of chakra.
It does.
And I think also nearly exhausts her too.
Like seriously, okay, this I guess it's in the Sakura Hida novel, but how the hell did Choji pull off Karin? Like there was no setup in Shippuden.
Yeah. Yeah, Karin, she had a thing for Sasuke, and then they just
No, not Karin. No, Chocho's mom. What is her name from the Hidden Cloud Village?
I know she was one of Killer Bee students, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was one of Killer Bee students.
I'm curious, how the heck these two even met is a question.
Because I know it was a reference in the Sakura Hida novel.
I probably missed it because I don't remember seeing one for Sadara.
Kaori, thank you, Jesus Christ.
I don't remember, I don't remember her having one for Sadara. Aside from the Gaiden one, I don't remember her having a book for her own.
Yeah, a lot of the Konoha 11 were crammed in the a lot of them were crammed in the Sakura Hida novel, though I only read a brief fan translation back in 2016, and it pretty much says that outside of a few, the majority of the Konoha 11, as to which leads to their children in Boruto, got together, or at least the setup for their relationship was in Sakura Hiden. The only ones that weren't were Ino and Sai, that was Shikamaru Hiden, and Sasuke and Sakura herself, and that was in Sasuke Hiden.
Mm-hmm. Well, looking up, basically, they have a full printed translation here. That was the first one I bought, and I bought the other ones later on. But I read that book after I watched the last. Because Edgar told me that it's after the last, so I figured they'll read after the last, and I did. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, but I think this is a good place to call it. Any final thoughts before we get to promos and conclusions?
Nothing I can think of.
Okay. Well, Nick Lenz, again, you and Tevia, always a pleasure on the channel. Anything you would like to promote before we wrap up here?
I got some videos coming tomorrow.
Nice.
One Piece and some comic corners. And newest episode of Shuka Tensei.
Any other Sentai, Tokusatsu, or Super Sentai series you will be reviewing in the future?
Right now I'm reviewing 5-Man. Next one for Super Sentai is going to be Baka Ranger, but after 5-Man it's going to be Kamen Rider Black.
Nice. Nice.
I'm going to do that in its sequel, RX. There's a particular order I'm doing it in, so it's like my order basically was 2 exceptions was Ultraman, Super Sentai, 2 Kamen Rider, there's Super Sentai, Metal Heroes, and rinse repeat.
Sounds like a good time.
Yep.
As for me, you've probably already seen from my community post. Again, my Wasted Potential video on the Snyderverse, that's coming out soon. Also, the Sword Sword playthroughs, those will be updated as well daily, if not every other day. I'm actually doing a follow-up to my Batman Telltale series playthrough, specifically on the Vigilante Joker from Batman Telltale Season 2 and that dynamic. And outside of what you already see me with Comics League, Phoenix Press, Pika Shades, just continue to support us, like, comment, and subscribe. But with that being said, I thank you all for joining me for this very late chapter review, and hopefully we can do this again next month for chapter 2.
Hopefully earlier time.
Yes, hopefully at an earlier time. Well, with that being said, flame off. Good night, everybody.